This week I saw the PlayStation Showcase, and while there wasn't a whole lot of announcements, I am looking forward to some of the games, but others I couldn't care less. But that very day they released this game for free, Silent Hill: The Short Message. Essentially, it's just a demo or a playable teaser, just like the Silent Hill game on PS4 from not so long ago. They're probably just testing the waters to see if they can pull a full game like this, and could they? Maybe, but they would definitely have to fix some things. In this game you play as this girl, Anita, who's going through a very dark and depressing time. Now I could spend the entire time just going,
"Are you crying? Oh, little baby crying? Oh no! Are you mentally unwell? Are you having an emotional breakdown right now? Do you have the big sad?" Well, there's people you can talk to, not me though. Bye.
But I'm not going to. For one reason, it just seems kind of fucked up that I would be making fun of someone going down a very deep path like that, but also that's really the whole game and I don't really want to spoil it. Now, I won't be spoiling this game much until the end of this review, don't worry, I'll give you guys a warning, but it is free and it's only 2 hours long, so if you're definitely interested in this, you should definitely play this at least once, or at the very least watch your favorite YouTuber play this.
Oh, little baby crying?
But do know this going in, this game does show disturbing scenes such as depression, self-harm, and suicide that some people may find disturbing. As Konami is also aware of this because they give you the suicide hotline 6 times throughout the game. I don't know, it seems a bit excessive and it kinda did put me out of the game when it happened right in the middle of it. I think in terms of gameplay, only showing this at like the beginning and the end would have been enough. But again, I don't want to seem like I'm judging this aspect of the game too harshly. It honestly is good that Konami did this in case someone does need it, but also it's Konami, so I kind of feel like they're just doing this to cover their asses legally. Anyway, let me talk about the game finally. Now, unfortunately, I never really played a Silent Hill game. I did play a bit of one, but I didn't get too far. And I didn't get the chance to play PT when it was on the PS4. But from videos I did watch, I think this is very similar to that, sort of. It's in the first person, like PT, and it's essentially a walking hallway sequence like PT. But unlike PT, this doesn't have the Kojima feeling. You know, hidden things to find, using the PS5 to the fullest. Like in PT, for example, you had things like the pause screen killing you after a while, the baby that you had to talk to through the microphone, finding pieces of a picture to get the secret ending, you know, stuff like that. This game has none of that, and you can not only just feel that as you play, but it also makes me a little worried about the future of this franchise. Now, the atmosphere is great. I did feel uneasy at the beginning, but I quickly got over it when I found out the formula. It was just walk around with no danger, chase sequence, walk around with no danger, chase sequence, walk around with no danger, and then end it with a, you guess it, a fucking chase sequence. I quickly realized that was what was happening, and then the tension was all lost. That's another thing I think PT did better. You never really knew when stuff was going to happen. You look through the door, and then bam, spooky girl. You walk around the corner, and bam, spooky ghost wife. Now, there were moments where I could see someone getting a little bit of a jump scare, but there wasn't really a moment where I was scared. Jesus, fuck! That was the only time I actually jumped in this game. Not my proudest gamer moment. In between walking around, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure it repeats what room you go around each loop, you have a chase sequence, a signature, I believe, of the Silent Hill games. And this is not great. Now, the monster design is good, although sometimes it just looks like she walks like Mr. Krabs. But she only shows up in these chase sequences, and she's invulnerable, which, okay, that makes sense. But she also kills you in one hit, and there was a lot of times where I just accidentally ran into her by running around a corner, and she just happened to be there. Which, in my opinion, was kind of unfair. Especially in the last chase sequence. My god, the last chase sequence was complete bullshit and almost made me quit the game. You have to run from her, obviously, while collecting 5 pictures to unlock this door. It's too fucking dark, I had to raise the brightness up a lot just to see this part. And she seems to get faster and doesn't seem to get looped around as easily as she's supposed to. Plus, when you do die, you have to repeat the whole chase sequence again. Which, for chase 1 and 2, it's not too bad. It's a little annoying, especially because 2 makes you have to loop around and stuff, but with 3, you have to restart collecting all the photos again. I hope if they make a new Silent Hill game based off of this, they just make it better. Give better directions, let me actually see what the fuck I'm doing, and don't kill me in one hit. Oh, and don't heavily rely on the chase sequences. I am going to give the chase parts a pass for this, considering it's just a 2-hour free-to-play game, but considering what they did with the last Silent Hill game, I don't really have any hopes for this. Okay, I'm going to talk a bit about the story, so if you don't want to be spoiled, go here for the final score. So, the story follows Anita, as I already said, who had lived a really crappy life, with a horrible mother and a life where she feels alone and depressed. Recently, there was a girl named Maya, who you learn through this live action sequence where her voice obviously doesn't match the video. In fact, none of the voices and emotions seem to match the faces. But hey, it was originally in Japanese, so that kinda makes sense with the lip movements, but even so, I think the face should still match the tone of the voice. Like, no matter if it's in Japanese or English. But I could be wrong, maybe the Japanese voice is better with the models. But anyway, so we follow Anita through Silent Hill to find out what happened. Anita lived in this town that, because of the virus, was hit hard financially and proceeded to fall apart. Which leads to a lot of discourse and a lot of teenagers committed suicide by jumping off the roof of this apartment complex, including Anita's friend Maya, who is this talented artist whose great-grandmother was a psychic who was declared a witch. And this really has nothing to do with the story, you could have just left this part out. I think it was supposed to help show why the kids at school were picking on her, but I think it was explained enough, especially during the school scene where... Hey! Who throws a shoe at people? Oh, great. Even the water fountain is throwing stuff at me. I'm a loser. And also it shows that Anita was jealous of Maya because she also is a much better artist than her. Plus, Anita was also jealous because Maya was getting close with Amelie, Anita's best friend. So, because of that, and the fact that Maya's post art on Twitter gets a lot of more followers and likes than her, while Anita just posts the same looking selfies and depressing stuff and then gets nothing as a result, Anita yells at Maya in a jealous rage, which is the final straw that pushed the girl off the roof. I think. It was kind of confusing piecing stuff together, to be honest, especially towards the end when I was slowly losing interest. Also, while Anita does get saved at the end, and I'm assuming she is getting actual help, which is great, it's kind of implied that Anita did inadvertently drove Maya to jump. And while she probably shouldn't be blamed fully for it, they kind of just brush past it besides like a bit in the middle and never fully resolved this. Now, this isn't a full story synopsis because really I think this should be experienced firsthand, and I probably didn't do it justice, but I wanted to at least talk about it a bit, especially some of the parts in the story that I didn't think held up well. But anyway, I give this game a 6 out of 10 for a good free-to-play 2-hour time that you probably will not want to repeat, with good graphics and atmosphere and the feeling of dread, where unfortunately the gameplay feeling repetitive at the end, that final chase sequence being a pain, and in my opinion, lackluster story does hold the game back. But I still think if you like Silent Hill or horror games in general, you should give this game a try. But let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of this game. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, you guys take care.